UKSA started in 1986, and it was founded by a chap called Noel Lister, who was the entrepreneur that created MFI. And he was a sailor, and he decided he wanted to give something back, so he bought the premises off the Sports Council and started the charity UKSA. UKSA is set up to achieve two things: personal development and maritime education. Some people that come to us are in need of a great deal of support, and what we're trying to do is encourage self-esteem, confidence, and those life skills, and enable people to engage in society really, really well. We're also trying to provide maritime education. What we find is that it's a very good sector for employment. There's great opportunities, and it also suits people who don't perhaps engage well with mainstream education. We're training for large luxury yachts. We're training people to be water sports instructors and work for people like Nielsen and Mark Warner. And in the broader sense, we're training for leisure and tourism, which is the fastest growing sector in the country. We were recently very fortunate to be successful in winning a Future Jobs Fund award to the value of about £330,000. And this is about helping young people who have been unemployed for a long period, and helping those people to get back into work. At the moment we have 15 young people on course. They're on course with us for over a period of 10 months. First period is training, and the second period is work experience with us, for which they get paid, and the third phase is being introduced to a long-term employer. Maritime is really good. It builds confidence, and a lot of the issues that surround people who are out of work are not necessarily to do with just the work. It's about the confidence to get work. It's about self-esteem, the ability to present yourself, to turn up on time. And one of the ingredients of the course is that it's residential. So we're trying to take away those barriers. We're trying to provide mentoring and support and guidance into employment. And what we're looking for is a really good outcome for each individual person. We're working with the high schools on the island and the Isle of Wight College. We're offering BTEC, which is basically the same as GCSEs. So in programme, 14 years upwards, the youngsters come here 2 days a week. And in a very vocational environment, we teach them leadership, safety management, and communication skills. And they come out at the end of that with the equivalent of 2 GCSEs. Progression beyond that with the Isle of Wight College, we have an NVQ, and the NVQ is a real leader into the outdoor sector. And we've just had 2 students go through the first course, and they've won Outstanding Achievement Awards in the recent Isle of Wight College celebration event. And we're very, very proud of that, and we're moving on to the next phase next year. One of the students from the NVQ course has opted to go on to a cadetship programme that we have, which is about training the future leaders of the super yacht sector. Cadetship is a programme we started about 5 years ago. It's an integrated programme which takes somebody from an introductory level in maritime to being the officer of the watch on a large super yacht in the leisure sector. It's very simple. It's 6 months study at UKSA. It's a year working in the sector, and you get paid in that sector. Come back to UKSA for another 6 months, and so forth over a period of 3 years. Cadetship's run in conjunction with Plymouth University with a foundation degree. The really good news is we've got 4 of those places funded by Trinity House, and they train 30 Merchant Navy cadets each year, and they've recognised our course as having the ability to train the future leaders of the super yacht sector. As a charity, we are really interested in the outcomes for young people. The outcome as far as qualifications is great, but the real outcome that we want is people in employment, because that enables them to contribute back to society and establishes them. And what we do through the course is we provide mentoring. Mentoring is about getting the best out of you as a person. It might be, we like you as a person, but we don't like what you're doing. It might be, you're doing very well, and this is the way to get more out of yourself and how to get to a higher level. So we support people through their educational programs. As they come towards the last third of the programme, this moves on to industry guidance. So this is talking about the sector that you as a student have elected to go into. So what's it like working on a super yacht? What's it like working for a sail train organisation? How hard do I need to work? How do I need to present myself? So we provide all of that information. And then we try and connect people to jobs. What we don't do is give them jobs, but what we do is do everything, if you like, to opening the door to the interview. Now, to help get the jobs, we have our own careers agency, goes under yachtcareers.com. 1,500 jobs come through that and other agencies each year. So we have a lot of availability of jobs into yachting and into water sports. But as I said, it's up to the person to get the job, but success for us is to see the young person in employment and looking after themselves.
So how important is training for the island economy?
Training is enormously important to the island economy. It's our whole philosophy is about looking after young people. Young people are our future. It's a very broad statement, but that's right. Young people that fall off the rails of going into employment can experience some really challenging and difficult problems. Being out of work, no money, low self-esteem, that leads to drugs, potentially and crime. Not everybody, but for some people. If you look economically, that's very expensive to work with those young people to get them back into a place where they can contribute to society. We have a very, very vibrant maritime sector on the island and in the Solent area. It's probably the most vibrant sector that there is in the UK. And our focus is to stimulate training in that sector. It's everything from being the captain of a super yacht to working as a marine engineer, to teaching afloat, to stewardessing, the interior side of working afloat. So there's opportunities in the locality, there's also opportunities to work overseas. The island's perfect for our brand of training. There's lots of potential employers in the Solent area, in Cowes. Leisure is a wider field that we train for. A lot of the island's economy is based on leisure. So it's absolutely right for us to be able to train people, put them through and get them out into employment in our local area.
What are your views on the government support for training and apprenticeship programmes?
Yeah, very, very topical at the moment is government support. I think the important thing for me is consistency in funding. Any training organisation or people that's involved in training will tell you that the biggest challenge is identifying the sources of funding that are available, adapting and converting training programmes to suit the funding rules, and then implementing new courses. If the rules change too frequently, what you spend is a huge amount of time designing and fitting new rules that change very frequently. What that means is the quality of input to the young person is not what it could be. So what we really need is consistency in funding routines. The volume of money will be what it will be, but if there's consistency, what training providers are able to do is build continuity, build depth, build up partnerships, which are really, really important. Employers need to work with training providers, and you can only build up relationships over a period of time. If funding is truncated, you can't do that. You have to start again and build relationships again. I guess the government is very focused on providing support to people who are out of work, and therefore perhaps we've seen an increased level of new initiatives, but there's a lot of uncertainty now about whether those initiatives are going to stay, and again what I'm looking for is continuity and clarity. I think local government have a responsibility to be able to make sure that central government funding is focused in the right area for the employment needs of the area. The other thing that I think is very important in hard economic times is to encourage training providers to come together so that we can get efficient outcomes for our training. Certainly in our sector, in the yachting sector is very good and very vibrant and offering increasing opportunities at the moment. It's growing. It paused a little in the last couple of years, but didn't significantly shrink, and we're seeing a very, very healthy market at the moment. The other good point about the market is it's rapidly developing. So I only see an increase in our sector, and I think it will remain healthy and it will continue to grow as we go forwards.